Progress made, persistence pays. Yesterday, we shared with you the news from the CDC that they have dropped their travel health notice, which stated that it warned passengers the risk of cruising. And there were all kinds of questions. We're going to add some more details to that today. But one cruise line feels good enough that they're about to end their Cruise with Confidence program, a program in which allowed passengers to cancel cruises up until 48 hours before the cruise left. Plus, Carnival shares news that it has sailed ships, even this month, in the month of March, with over 100% occupancy. Yeah, we've got that news too. Let's talk about all the cruise news right now on Island Time. A big happy Thursday to all you Islanders. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to Island Time. I am your host, Derek, and together we're going to belly up to the table and feast on cruise news in the islands today. There's a lot going on. Yesterday, we shared with you that the CDC dropped the travel health notice, which warned passengers about the risk of contracting COVID-19 aboard cruise ships. And there were so many questions about this news. Some people thought that because of this news, that protocols would be dropped immediately, that things would change overnight. There's been lots of questions. We've taken time to answer a lot of them. But I want to sum up yesterday's news in this, and we're also going to talk about this in tomorrow's show. Nothing yet has changed with any of the major players in the cruise industry. Will things change? Yes, but not overnight. Okay, what does this mean? The news from the CDC puts the cruise industry and cruising on the same playing field, a level playing field with other travel sectors. Think of flying. Think of going to the beach in Florida. Think of going to an all-inclusive resort. Do you have to be vaccinated to do those things? No. Do you have to be tested to do those things? For the most part, no. That's what this does, okay? We can't take away the protocols yet, but we're on a level playing field where now we can start to have conversations about these things. The show tomorrow is going to be a big show. First off, it's the first day of the month, April Fools, by the way. We will have our April cruise preview show, and I will detail several topics tomorrow. I'm going to talk about vaccines, when they could end, that vaccine mandate, testing, when testing could end, or what would it look like when it comes to an end. Kids clubs, priority boarding. I'm going to throw some things out there that are between the ears here in my mind from Derek. We'll do that on tomorrow's show. I hope you will join us then, but let's get into this right here. I have to show this locally. Locally, it's more good news. UAMS, the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences, one of the biggest hospitals in the state, announced yesterday they have 0 patients with active COVID-19 symptoms, or they're not treating any. 0 COVID-19 patients. That's awesome news. We're headed in the right direction. All this news, it's all on the same spectrum. We're doing a good job. I had to share that locally, and I hope that where you're at locally, that this looks similar to what the situation that your community is in. Now, one thing we've all gotten used to as we get into our cruise news is some flexibility in cruising. I myself have booked cruises, changed my mind, changed the dates, changed the passengers without any fee. That's all about to come to an end, as Royal Caribbean's Cruise with Confidence program has an expiration date of today. Okay, it's had expiration dates before, but they've extended it. We've heard no news of them extending it this time. This Cruise with Confidence program, it's the name of the program, which offers you and I, cruisers of Royal Caribbean, with flexibility. If we book a cruise and we get close to our date within 48 hours of sailing, we can cancel it. We can move our cruise with future cruise credit and book something else. It may be that we don't feel good. It may be that we don't like the protocols. We were hoping masking was going to be gone, hoping testing was going to be on, and it didn't leave. So we canceled our cruise. That's the flexibility that Royal Caribbean and Carnival and Celebrity and all of them have offered. Some cruise lines have already ended their Cruise with Confidence program. But Royal Caribbean is set to end their program. The current program applies to all sailings booked by March 31st, today. It's actually at the end of the day today, that depart by September the 30th of 2022. So if you book by today, here's an action item. If you book by today, you can cruise through the end of September and cancel if you want to. So if you're looking at a Royal Caribbean cruise, the price is right. You like the price. You like the itinerary. You like the ship. There's an incentive to book it today because this is probably not going to be renewed past today. So book it today. If you decide not to go, you get your money back. Okay, within 48 hours of the cruise. Carnival has had this same idea and concept in place. Theirs is still around, especially if you deal with Carnival directly. If you have a PVP, I've been able to call my PVP and share, hey, I want to move my cruise. I did it just last month, and they were able to do so. So fight for your flexibility and know that if you book Royal Caribbean by the end of the day today, you're covered through the end of September. But if you book tomorrow, you may have standard cancellation penalties that we were all accustomed to before COVID. How about that? And listen to this. Arnold Donald shared this, and I had this, and I was waiting to fit it into one of my shows, and today is the day. Arnold Donald announced late last week that Carnival has and is selling some ships at over 100% occupancy. How about that? Carnival Corporation has run more than 40 sailings at over 100% occupancy this year. That comes from, again, President and CEO Arnold Donald. Not all of these 40 cruises were Carnival Cruise Line cruises. Some of them were other branches of the family. But Donald said the good performances were more North American oriented. So a lot of those 40 were from North America. And he said this, in fact, we're already achieving occupancies in the month of March that are nearing 70%, with more than 40 cruises exceeding 100% occupancy. And he also said this, the most important aspect of that is you're talking a lot of sailings at 100% occupancy, which the cruise line wants, which is showing that things are definitely coming back and that we have the ability to sail at 100% with protocols and still serve the interest of public health with really good outcomes from a health and safety standpoint. Arnold Donald is saying we can do both. We can sell at 100%, which the perception and the audience of this speech was investors. He's telling investors and those on Wall Street, we've sold at 100%. We are going to sell at 100%, but we can also do so safely. Have you cruised recently and looked around and thought, I think we're at 100%? I cruised in February and I cruised just last week, and I thought we were at 100%. Guest services sold me short, although cruise directors told me we were at 100%. I got 93, 94, 95% from guest services. What have cruise ships looked like when you've been on board, both Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and any other cruise line? What are your latest occupancy or capacity numbers? I'd love to hear that in the comment section below. That's the cruise news we have for you today. If you enjoyed our content, of course, give us a thumbs up. I'm working on tomorrow's show, like I said, where I'll have some interesting topics to discuss, and I'll really open up about some of my thoughts on some of the biggest protocols that are still left out there, when I think things could change. We'll talk about it. We'll have a big discussion in the comment section below. Always feel free to share your thoughts there. We'll see you tomorrow, Islanders, right here on Island Time.